Hi everybody and welcome along to the AFTV Starting 11 show. My name is Laurie, I'm your host today. I'm joined by an esteemed panel. To my far left we've got Jack in the building, and yes I did remember
my name this time.
Yeah. We've also got my boy Dan Potts in the building.
Big up.
Man, what you been on?
Cheers, man.
On the weights,
no, trust it ain't. It's fat, not muscle, mate. I wish it was muscle.
And to my right I've got my boy in league. Commiserations, man. He was at a semi-final today.
No, it was a league decider today, really.
Oh, it was a league decider?
Yeah, and we got
You got tonks.
We got tonks, yeah.
Is it true that you were at fault for all three goals?
No, don't listen to Dan Potts. But that's why I didn't go Manchester today, because it was such a big game.
Well, listen, Robbie's loss is our game.
Hold off.
Robbie's loss is our game.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, with us. You'll be with a watch along for as well.
Yes, I'm doing a watch along as well.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, man, I think the vibes is good. Yeah, we're all looking forward to this game. First thing I want to ask you guys is. There's been a lot of conjecture about this game. Is it still a big game? Is the rivalry between Arsenal and Man United still one of those games that catch the public's imagination? Because some people are saying, I heard Turkish, he's been spouting off that it's not anymore. To me, I'm going to put my cards on the table. It's a massive game for me. How do you guys feel about it? Dan?
History, mate. History says it's a massive game. I don't really look at the league table when it comes to this game, because I've done that before. Even last season when Man United were really bad, I don't think they were anywhere near the position they are. But in terms of the way they were playing, I was really confident about it. And I remember being on the watch along last year saying, I think we're going to put 4 past these. I ain't going to do that this time, because you just know, don't you, that they're going to turn up. It's Man United. It's never easy. And unfortunately, when we go to Old Trafford, we've had some bad times there. Right? We've had some really good times of late as well, and we've managed to get some wins. But I will say this, it's never one that I believe is going to be walking the park against them.
I would agree.
I would actually say, look, geographically, obviously, Tottenham are our biggest rivals if you want to look at things North London derby-wise. But I think Manchester United, in my sort of lifetime, have been our biggest rivals. You'll never forget the Keane and Vieira days and the Fergie and Wenger days, and that's what sticks in my mind when we play this fixture. And I've got to say, it must mean something to me, because when the fixtures come out, it's one of the first games I look at. When are we going to Old Trafford, and when are we playing them at the Emirates? So it's going to be massive still for me, and you always want to get one over them if you can, man.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. Jack?
Yeah, I think the exact same. I think it does kind of depend what generation of fan you are, though. Like, I kind of get why people may be saying now, but I mean, look, I'm 24, so I was born and raised on Man United Arsenal hatred, but I guess maybe younger fans not so much. But even like as a competitive rivalry, there's not many teams that I want to beat more than Man United. Like you say, Tottenham, but other than that, I think United is the one. It's still bragging rights to an extent. Like, even the past few years when they've won like a Carabao and FA Cup, it's still been bragging rights with Arsenal. So I think they'll say the same thing.
No, I agree. Although some people are saying Man City are possibly a bigger rival. Lee, what do you think?
I want Man United to win 2 games season. That's all. That's against Spurs, like, you know what I mean? So, listen, Spurs can be down where they are, and I don't have the nervousness that I do with an Arsenal Spurs game. Like, it's a big game, but it's been built up on rivalry, like from winning leagues in the fit. It's not been instilled in you to hate Man United. Well, not for me anyway, because the generation came. It's always been Tottenham, but the rivalry built up between us through the years. I'm going to be really honest now. I look at Man City more of a bigger game, because they're a rival now. Like Manchester United. When Man United get back up to where they think that they should belong and whatever, then maybe it'll come back again. But for me, like, listen, I haven't woken up in a sweat this morning worrying about this game. But when it's Spurs, I do. I don't sleep properly. Because of the rivalry, because it's close and whatever. Like, and listen, Spurs have been down there for the last couple of seasons, well, definitely this season, but that was still, there was more fuel to the fire than what this game is today.
Well, that could be as well, because geographical, so like you live near me, we live just down the road.
Yeah.
A lot of Tottenham fans in that
smell
area.
the ground from our
So, I see where you're coming from with that one.
Well, listen, I've had to get on the later train today as well.
Oh, right, because they're home.
Because they're home, you know what I mean? So I've had to wait till they're playing.
Yeah, but they're also losing. They could be 2-0 down.
Cliver again, 2-0.
Wow.
They're Bournemouth for a good side.
They are, man.
Very good, man. Iriola, big up to Iriola.
They've lost their last 2 games, and along comes Spurs. Help them out.
Dr. Tottenham.
Go, Dr. Tottenham in the house again.
So, in case you missed it, people, Bournemouth are now beating Tottenham 2-0. Cliver, all right. VIO looking at it.
Excellent play from, I think it was Kirkes down this left-hand side again.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with this.
No,
it's great play.
Great run.
And this left-hand side is fantastic.
Oh,
no, he is.
Oh.
He's going to be off. He's going to be off, I think.
No, but then when the ball was played through...
I think Semenyo as well off.
Yeah, it looks off from there.
No, but he wasn't interfering with play, though, was he?
No, he is off.
Yeah, he's off, yeah.
It goes to him. He, by the time it's released, he don't get himself back on.
Oh, okay.
He's not in his own half either, so he's going to be off. That's a shame.
That's a shame.
Good play, though.
Offside.
Really good play.
Miles offside.
Bournemouth. And they've had a lot of injuries, Bournemouth. People forget, like, you know, wasn't long ago there was about 8 of them all up in the box.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so
good manager, Ariel, isn't he? I mean,
yeah, I'm a big fan.
Me and you were chatting, Dan, off camera that you know, he kind of come from nowhere, and people were saying that, you know, there are no good managers around. But listen,
Marcelo Bielsa is one of them ones, isn't he? He's learnt off of him, so he's come from that mould. So look, he plays nice football, and he's instilled that into Bournemouth. I will say, a lot of people have said, like, well, if Arteta goes, would you have him? The reason I have said no is because he's still learning as well, and he's still young, and it's different managing Bournemouth than it is Arsenal. But I will say he's been very impressive this year, and they've been great, Bournemouth. They really have.
we've also got to take into consideration that when Arteta got the job, he wasn't managing at all.
Exactly that.
You know. But anyway, let's crack on. Starting the 11 show, as I said, there are some stories to talk about. I'm hearing, Jack has told me, he's a very reliable source of information, that Martinelli's travelled, which surprised me.
I've got some early team news as well that's just come through from quite reliable. Apparently, one change, Calafiori for Lewis Skelly from midweek.
Actually, that kind of brings me nicely
from pretty reliable, but
okay.
The Martinelli one you were saying, I think he was spotted travelling with the squad, like on the train, in like the full tracksuit, and he was on a team walk. But I'm guessing, you know, when they sit like behind the subs, like the injured players.
Oh yeah.
I'm guessing he's just travelled with, because I've not seen him in training or anything. If he's on the bench, then that's a level of secrecy I've never seen from.
Maybe he just fancies a day out to Manchester.
I think if he's travelled, he'd be a part of the squad.
You think?
Yeah, because I don't. You know, what's the point if you've got a hamstring injury or you're not quite fit, travelling up there, not in your own bed, staying in the hotel? What for? To be a cheerleader? I think he'd be in the squad.
Yeah.
Jack
mentioned. Sorry, go on.
Sorry, no. If it was at home, I can see him being part of the squad and walking around, but not going away from home.
Yeah, it does seem a bit incongruous that you travel all the way up there just to be a bit part player sitting behind the team. You know what I mean?
What's he going to go on with the Waters?
Who knows? But yeah, Jack mentioned the Miles Lewis Skelly situation. I do believe he served his ban, isn't he?
Yeah, because it was last ban. It's only a 1 game ban,
right? Yeah, it's a 1 game ban.
Served at Forest.
Although he got sent off, it wasn't for violent conduct. So that would technically make him available today. So there is that debate about who should get the starting berth at left back, him or.
Well, I think Tierney's got to come in for a shout as well. Well, don't he? Or is that?
Yeah, well, it could be Miles Lewis Skelly. There could be Tierney. There could be Zinchenko, and of course Calafiori. Who would you like to see again?
I think Calafiori done very, very well the other night. He come on for Miles, you know, after the yellow card incident. So I think he's in the pecking order first, and it's obvious. So yeah, Calafiori.
Dan?
Lewis Skelly for me, served his game. I think he's been phenomenal. I think he's been better than Calafiori. So for me, it would have been Lewis Skelly, but he's obviously mixed it up. Maybe he's, Mikel Arteta's looking at him as well and saying there is some discipline problems there with Lewis Skelly. As much as I quite like it, you do have to remain consistent, because obviously he's got to watch himself with his cards that he's had, red cards as well as yellow cards, by the way. So I do think that there's potentially something there. I think he needs an arm around his shoulder just to give him. I don't want him to lose that bite, because I think it's good. I like that attitude, and I love the little bit of showsery that he's got. But I will say, I think maybe that's what it is. Calafiori did well though, the other night, and I think what's interesting is we brought this guy in, but actually he's better going forward. I mean, a lot of our left backs are better going forward. Other than Kieran Tierney, I think all of them have question marks over their defensive abilities, but Lewis Skelly's probably the only one I can say that has come in and has been good defensively as well as going forward. So that's why I would have gone for him. But looks like it's Calafiori if that's to be the case.
Okay, Jack, I'm going to get to you in a minute, but before we do, I've got a super chat here from Sanchez, who must be a Turkish fanboy. He says, why did Laurie just lie about Turkish? Turkish never said this wasn't a big game. And by the way, Laurie, stop using polysyllabic words to sound smart. Now listen, Sanchez, whoever you are, go back and watch Turkish's fan cam that I did with him last week. When I was suggesting that this is a big game, he said he was questioning it. So go back and look at that and then come back. And in the meantime, take the aubergine out your mouth, bro.
The other thing that he could do today, I don't know, I'll throw it out there, is he could play Ben White at right back and Timber.
See,
at
I
left
thought
back.
that as well. There's an opportunity to do that.
There's an
Ben
opportunity
White
to do that
is
today.
back now, and I would prefer playing Ben White and Timber to Calafiori. I've not got any hatred towards Calafiori. I just think there's a pecking order, and I think we've been solid with White and Timber there. And Lewis Skelly deserves a mention. But look, you know, Calafiori starts. The good thing about Calafiori is, without being funny, he can get on the score sheet, actually, can't he? Do you know what I mean? He's actually scored a few goals for us.
Frustrating
That's 3 or 4 goals, so.
Yeah, sorry, Jack, I was going to say, what's your opinions on the left-back situation?
Yeah, I'm happy with what he's done. I think it's good to take Lewis Skelly out the firing line, because obviously it was the West Ham game he got sent off, suspended for Forest, comes back in for PSV and then has to get hooked after 35 because he's probably should have been sent off again. So, I mean, it's not a criticism of him or a bad thing. It's sometimes just a young player, he's excited. Just take him out for a couple of games, bring him back in, you know. I think a lot of people forget that he's naturally a midfielder as well. So a lot of these times you can pull someone's shirt, you can clip someone's heels and you're not the last man. So I just think maybe he's taken a while to adapt to it. I don't mind taking him out. And like you say, Calafiori, he's becoming our Gvardiol. Comes in as a centre-back, gets shifted to left-back, and everyone says, why are you playing a centre-back at left-back? And he ends up being much better going forward than he is at the back.
He certainly got that instinct. It wouldn't surprise me if he played up front when he was young. Talking of Mars Lewis Skelly, I was interested in a little story that arose just before the game. It's relating to the manager's pre-match interview. He was talking about Mars Lewis Skelly and he used the word liability. Now, I'm not sure if that was a good term to use, to be honest. I know he kind of walked it back by saying, look, he's done really well and we're here to support him. But do you think him using the word liability was a clever move? Because then you saw the papers, you saw the headlines, there's Mars Lewis Skelly is a liability for us. You know what I'm saying? I just thought that term was a bit unfortunate. But what do you guys think?
Well, I don't think he should have said that, but he was on that game against PSG, you know what I mean? It was PSV. I felt that, you know, I couldn't believe he wasn't sent off. And he's a little bit rash.
Oh, yeah, definitely was rash, yeah.
But at the end of the day, he's 18 years of age. And the other thing is he's learning the position. You know, he's been a midfield player. And when you're a midfield player, you can be a little bit rash in the tackle at times because you've got the covering players at the back and things like that, so you can be a little bit more aggressive with your tackle because you know you've got cover and you ain't going to get. When you're playing left back, as it has happened with him, he's shown that aggression and got caught out. So listen, for me, we're only going on this because we're thinking that he's been left out, but I would play him today. I've got no
teams out.
Teams out.
Teams out.
Go then.
Right, okay then. Jack. Do the honours, mate.
Alrighty, so it's what we said. So it's Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, Partey, Rice, Odegaard, Wanyeri, Trossard, Marino. The interesting thing is Martinelli on the bench.
There you go.
So it's
you were right, Lee.
Neto, White, Kivior, Zinchenko, Tierney, Lewis Skelly, Jorginho, Sterling, Martinelli. So no kids. We've actually got a full strength bench. Whether he's fit to play or whether he's just there for emergencies, we don't know. But that's a quiet one that they've snuck on us.
Yeah, I think like ideally you like to give him about 10 minutes at the end if we need to. Ideally not, and then play him on Wednesday in the game where we can afford to lose 4-0. You know what I mean? So that's how I look at it.
Right. So listen, I don't want no one to be wise after the event. I want everyone here now to say that they or not, whether they're happy with the team. Lee, you happy with this team? You've seen it?
Yeah, I think that. Listen, we're 2 players short of what he's got a choice whether he can play Ben White or Timber at left back or he can play Miles Lewis Skelly. So I don't think that's something there. The only positions now that he's not got in this team is wide right and up front. There would be the 2 positions that he's not, you know, he can't have any say on, like, you know. So we've got 9 out of 11 that we're strong. You know what I mean? So it should be that team should be good enough to beat a very, very poor Man United team. So I'm happy with it. Like, you know, I want to see the same sort of intensity as it was on Wednesday. Let's see if on Tuesday. Let's see if it has. I think also you've got to look at it. Things are in favour for us. You know what I mean? We haven't we've had a couple of days extra rest. The only thing that's not in favour is going to Old Trafford, but they've got a big game coming up next Thursday. Well, surely they've got one eye. That if they don't beat Real, that was the perfect result for us, 1-1 by the way. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it'd be interesting to see what happens. But no, I'm happy with that.
Happy with the team, Dan?
Yeah, I'm happy with the team. Yeah, I'm happy with it. I mean, obviously, other than Tommy Asu and Jesus, who've been out for God knows how long, you've got Havertz and Saka now, and that's it. Everyone else looks like they're back now. So the bench is looking a little bit stronger. There's not any youngsters that are on it that you're not really sure who they are or how many minutes they've played. So I think the starting 11 is good enough to beat Manchester United. And if I'm honest with you, I think we've got a few options now, where we've discussed the left backs, we've discussed left wing. I think there's 4 positions in this starting 11 that everyone would question at the moment going into the summer: left back, left 8, left wing and centre forward. I think they're the 4 positions and probably the 4 areas that we'd look to either bring somebody in and or at least have a discussion about who's going to start. So that's for me where we've got to strengthen. But at the moment, I mean, that's a fair team and one that we should be beating Man United quite comfortably. So we have to see, man. No excuses.
Yep. Okay. Jack.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. I think the only thing that I would have liked to have seen is what Dan was saying. Maybe can you move Timber over and bring Ben White in? But other than that, I'm happy with it. I think Calafiori's earned the right to start. I think Nottingham Forest, maybe he was one of our better players going forward. I know he was a bit of a liability at the back, but going forward was fine. PSV gets his goal, so I think he's earned the right to start regardless. And then looking at Man United's lineup, let's have a look at it. We've complained about
let's look at it.
We've complained about our injuries, but so they are Onana in goal.
Ooh.
Are back exactly already. And that's their first choice. And then their back 3 is Yoro, De Ligt, Lindelof, Mazraoui and Dalot, wing backs, Casemiro and Eriksen as a double pivot in midfield. So there's not a lot of legs in there. And then
Casemiro and Eriksen.
Wow.
Yeah. And then
we must have a field day in that midfield.
Fernandes, Garnacho, Xerxes is their front 3.
Nah, come on.
Unless Fernandes drops into midfield and Eriksen's one of the 10s, but either way, it still was not helping you with legs wise.
We dominate that midfield today. We dominate that midfield.
So
you can't have Casemiro and Eriksen and lose this game. So
Party Rice Odegaard versus Casemiro.
They should be looking forward to that.
Oh, unbelievable. That's crazy. With Casemiro and so it'll be Bruno.
I would have thought they'd put Bruno as one of the 10s, but
yeah, I don't know.
Casemiro has been a wonderful player, but once your legs go,
Eriksen as well, to be fair, he's a good player, but his legs are gone.
Dan, quite correct. But once your legs go, you can all have all the skill in the world still, but once your legs go, it's a lot tougher. Declan Rice and I'm surprised maybe that one of them hasn't been rested, but I mean, like they should have a field day in there today, Odegaard and Rice. They should.
Yeah, I mean, is
that going to be offside? No, I don't think so. That is 2-0.
2-0. Evanilson. Wow.
This one's going to be called off. I don't think this...
I looked up and it was in.
Look at those faces in the background there.
That's what it's like supporting Tottenham. There he is, Ange. How is he still there, by the way?
He will, but he might not be. If this happens to Alkmaar, then he's gone.
I've got to say, based on what I'm seeing so far, Bournemouth are making light work of this, and you look at
Bournemouth are a different level to Tottenham.
Yeah,
a different level.
They are.
Well, let's watch this again because I didn't see it. As I looked up, it was in the net. Has it come from Kirkers again?
Not offside this time.
Semenyo. It's a great turn.
He's well on. He's well on. There's no way.
That's a great finish as well. Yeah, composure, mate.
It's worth noting as well. Højlund dropped.
Oh, has he dropped? Is he?
Yeah, after sort of 19 games without a goal, they're finally.
That's a great goal, boys.
Given up on him. So.
Because I was going to mention that front 3 of Man United's. Okay, Højlund's dropped today, but
Cheeto on the bench.
Front 3 of.
I'm surprised he has though, because physically they haven't got a lot of power up there, have they?
No, but I mean, in terms of goals, like Jack says, no goals in 19. In fact, Garnacho, Højlund, and Xerxes have just 8 Premier League goals between them all season.
I get what Lee's saying though. At least Højlund gives you legs.
Yeah,
like Xerxes looks like when, like soccer aid games. When they're technically a level above everyone, but they're ex-pros, so they just haven't got the legs. Like Xerxes looks like an ex-pro in Soccer Aid. Like technically an absolute joke, but just has not got the mobility, the legs.
He's got a good touch and all that, though, hasn't he? He's got ability.
He's amazing. It reminds me of, do you remember like Lee Trundle? In like
Lee Trundle. What player
Lee Trundle for Swansea, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
I do remember.
Famous for his T-shirts.
Yeah, I remember the Lee Trundle.
But are we? I'm sensing that there's a big degree of confidence amongst you guys, which I understand. But are we maybe being a little overconfident? I mean, let's be honest, man. Man United did knock us out of the FA Cup early. So I was at that game. It was a game that we should have won. We had many chances. We didn't take them. And then Bruno pops up with a goal, take it to penalties, and we ended up losing penalties. Very disappointing day that was. I remember being at the ground. It was depressing. So, United, whilst they're not at their best, I mean, let's be honest, man, they're in 14th place. They're in a pretty poor run of form. The vibes around them is very poor. But are we in danger of...
what a great goal. Was that a cross?
Yeah. That tells you it was.
That definitely was a cross.
He's crossed it and it's gone straight in. I mean, he's like, yep, I didn't mean that, but I'll take it. That's a shame. I had some FPL
barely celebrated that. So
that's defenders.
Yeah.
But the aesthetics of it was very good, wasn't it? I mean, that was... If he did mean it, that's a wonder goal. But I'm sure
he's
that
definitely
was a cross.
crossed that. He's crossed that.
So that can change things.
It can. Yeah, because he looked up. He's looking for...
Wow. God, he couldn't do that if he tried.
The interview after will be interesting when they ask him, do you mean it?
You can tell straight away by their face, can't you? Most of the time.
Yeah. But to my question, Lee, are we underestimating United? Because, I mean, as you said, they are a rival. They do have some quality players. Let's be honest, before the PSV game, we weren't in the best of form either. Got beaten by West Ham. That was a really poor game.
Thank you for that, Larry.
No, but I mean, we've got to be honest and say we were poor against West Ham. The Forest game, though, I was in debate with some people. I thought that the Forest game, that wasn't a bad result. To go there and not concede, get a draw against Forest. I mean, see, they beat Man City there yesterday, so...
In the context of just as a result, it wasn't a bad result. But the way losing to West Ham, you had to go there and win. You know what I mean? So that's where the frustration comes from. That. But it wasn't a bad performance, and probably we should have won the game.
But what I'm saying is, prior to PSV, we hadn't scored in our last 2 league games. In fact, going back a bit further than that, we've not scored in 3 out of 4 games. What makes you think we're just going to rock up and smoke United?
Nothing. If I be really honest, I don't know where that come from, that PSV game. You know? I mean, we'll have to wait and see what happens today. Was it a one-off, or are Arsenal going to be able to dismantle teams more? It'd be really interesting to see what they do, because I do think with their players that you say they haven't got legs, well, if they're going to be in a low block, they haven't got to have legs. They just like fill areas. We haven't been able to break those teams down. So, listen, if Man United beat us today, I think it'd be more down on us than Man United. That's my opinion, So we'll have to wait and see. So, Dan,
are we in danger of being overconfident? Should we give Man United a bit more respect, put some more respect on their name?
The way they're playing, I can understand why people are confident. I can. However, I did a show this morning on my channel when a lot of people were saying 1-1 and some said 0-0. That was what I was I was gasping at. But look, I do think that we should be quietly confident because of the way Man United have been playing. They haven't been a good setup this season. They've not been a good outfit. I think even Ruben Amorim, to be fair, has probably got to look at himself and actually question where he's going with this Man United side. As much as I don't rate the squad, I don't rate the Everton squad, but Moyes has come in and done something with Man United, Everton, So you've got to look at the manager and how he's trying to set up. So, look, it'll make it difficult for us today, there's no doubt. They're not going to come out and play, I don't think. A lot of people believe that at Old Trafford they're going to have to come out and actually try and express themselves. I don't think they will. I think they're quite happy to take a 0-0 or 1-1. So it could be difficult for us. If you look back to the Emirates games, you mentioned the FA Cup game. If you look back to the league game, they made it difficult for us there. It was only 2 set-piece goals that we scored. So through open play, it was difficult for us. So I expect one of those games again today, if I'm honest.
Jack?
Yeah, I'm the exact same. So many people saying sort of 3-4. Dan, you were telling me a stat before. What was it? Last time we scored 3 goals at Old Trafford?
Yeah, when do you reckon it was? When do you reckon the last time we scored 3 goals at Old Trafford? Have a guess.
It's got to be something.
Have a guess in the chat as well.
Well, it's a long time ago.
Just have a guess. Give me a year.
6 years ago.
6 years?
70s.
It is 1970.
Wow, that long.
Last time he scored 3 goals at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
That's why people are saying 4-0s and 3-1s. And
Yeah, it's
5-0.
never an easy game there, is it? Like, yeah.
Even last year, I remember they played. I think it was it Casemiro, Johnny Evans. They started at centre back, and we'd won pretty much every game in 2024, and we scraped to 1-0. So, something at Old Trafford always a tough game. So
I think it hints at what we were saying earlier about the rivalry. You know what I mean? It's always going to be that between Arsenal and Man United. Just another super chat here we need to take care of. It's from He-Man. He said, sometime we should go raid Bournemouth, Semenyo and Kirkis.
2 good players.
Very good players, yeah.
Very good players. I mean, Liverpool are after Kirk, isn't they?
Yeah.
But look at the energy that I'm only watching it, but the energy that Bournemouth are producing in this game is quite remarkable. The pace of it, they hit teams on the break really, really well, and listen, they deserve to be leading this game.
Yep, absolutely. They've been by far the better team based on what I'm seeing so far. I just wanted to say as well, you mentioned, Dan, about Amorim's. Good point. I'm just looking at his Premier League record. To date, he's played 16 Premier League games as Man United manager. He's only won 5, 3 draws and 8 losses. Only 21 goals scored.
Oh dear!
Talk about new manager bounce or lack thereof. He's struggling a bit, isn't he?
Yeah, he is struggling. But I do think there's not just him. I mean, we've seen it with other managers at Man United. I know I'm not against sacking managers and bringing managers in. I think you should do that until you get it right. But you've also got to look at what has been left behind. And Manchester United has spent a hell of a lot of money. You know, people talk about Chelsea spending over £1 billion. Man United have done that as well in the last few years. You know, and the managers of Van Gaal and the managers of Rangnick and Ollie and Jose Mourinho and then of course Ten Hag and now recently Amorim. You look at it now. And you think that you've got to look at it and say it's more than just the manager. Bournemouth are in again here.
Oh, he's hit the post!
Wow, that Clivert, you know, has had a brilliant season for Bournemouth. He really
Did you see
has.
how they hunted down the midfield player and
corner.
just nicked it off him there? Like, I mean, he had nowhere to go. I don't know who it was. Look at this.
Sarr, isn't it? No, it's not Sarr.
And they're on him.
It
They are on him.
Bentonville,
Well, it's
maybe.
very impressive, this.
It is.
This is how we got to play today, by the way. This is the energy levels that we've got to
so
show.
Unlucky that. So unlucky. So yeah, look, Man United, they're a mess, aren't they? Let's just be real, they're a mess on and off the pitch. They can't afford to keep their staff. They've got infested with mice. They've got leaks in their roof. As a football club, it's a shambles. For the biggest club in England to have that is a shambles, really. So I don't think it is just Amorim, but I think you have to look at him individually and say, like, what has he actually improved at Man United? Because the stats show that he's actually got worse. They've got worse since he's been there, and I think maybe that's because he's trying to introduce him to a new system. They're not used to
You say that
as well. So
yeah, I was going to mention that. So he's insistent on playing his 3 at the back, Jack. It's not quite. You've got to have the personnel to be making sweeping changes like that.
yeah, I think you can set your precedent of what you want, but you have to adapt. Like the fact that he's come in and said, "I'm playing 3 at the back no matter what, it's my way," is great, and I really respect that. But I also think you got to look at it and say, my 3 at the back has 2 players in midfield. They need to be like Rice and Caicedo. I need some serious legs for a 2-man midfield. I've got Eriksen and Casemiro. So why don't we I'll do my 3 at the back, but let's do 3 in midfield to the end of the season, and then we'll go full Amorim in the summer. Don't go straight in and...
Great point.
Like, I'm not saying go play back 4, go play 4-4-2 until the summer. Implement what you want to implement, but maybe just a couple little tweaks. Like you saw when... I know everyone likes comparing, but when Arteta came in, he's always wanted 4 at the back, but every time we went to City, we went to Chelsea, we went to Liverpool, I'm playing 5 because I've got David Luiz and Mustafi, and I'm going to lob Tierney in centre-back as well, just because if I try and play my way, I'll get annihilated. And I just think he needs to be a little bit more adaptable for the odd game, and then in the summer, bring who you want in and then do your thing. Because, look, a 2-man midfield in the Premier League and you're playing Eriksen and Casemiro, I mean, you're asking for it, really.
No, I absolutely agree, and that's something that Ange's been criticised for as well. Like you're playing this high line, and you've not got the defenders in which, with the exception of Van der Ven, they haven't got the defenders to do that with. So you're just basically making it harder for yourself. And to expand upon that point as well, we saw that with Pep when we took over at Man City. Remember, Joe Hart was the goalkeeper. Remember, he famously took Joe Hart out of the equation and brought in a keeper that he felt could play out from the back the way he wanted to do that. So you do make a good point there. You can't just impose a system on a team knowing that you haven't got the players to effectively implement that system. So yeah, I'm all in agreement. Listen, we're running out of time. I should go around the table and ask for some predictions. So let's start with my man Lee.
2-0 the Arsenal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who's scoring for you today?
That's a good question. 1 from the back, so big Gabs. and Wanyeri.
Yeah. Sounds good. Jack?
I'm going to go 1-0 Trossard, and we're going to get that record that's standing today.
What's the record?
I think we would be the first team in Premier League history to beat Man United 5 times in a row. It'd be the longest winning run against them in the Prem ever. I think us and Brighton are currently sat on 4.
Yeah, we're on 4. Yeah.
I think 5 would be the outright record of Premier League wins in a row.
It's the first time in a long while since if we win there, it's like twice on the bounce as well. We haven't done that for
I think so.
Yeah. We won there 1-0 last year, didn't they, with Trossard? So yeah, that would be a repeat. I think
that'd be a nice little stat to bring up then, Jack.
Dan?
I'll go 2-1 Arsenal. I'll go Ethan, Wanyeri and Trossard. So I think it will be tight though. I don't think this is going to be a comfortable afternoon. I hope I'm wrong, but I'll go 2-1 to the Arsenal, man. What about you?
No, you know what? I'm with you exactly. I said that yesterday when I did the live show with Stricter. I predicted 2-1, and I said the same 2 scorers. I fancy Wanyeri to get 1. I fancy Trossard. Trossard looked pretty good actually against PSV, and he was going for goal a lot more.
Good,
yeah, they did. Yeah. Maybe Odegaard might get 1 as well.
Needs a good game today, Odegaard. Needs to pick it up. I thought he was really good in the second half of the PSV. So, captain's performance today is needed, I think, for him.
Yeah, definitely. But I do agree that we should win today, and I do agree with Dan. I do think United will make it difficult, but I think we've got enough quality in the end to come through and get the victory. We're just watching Bournemouth on the attack
they're incredible.
Yeah,
they are an incredible team to watch.
And again, the Tottenham defenders are arguing with each other.
They can't handle it. Yeah, they cannot handle the press. Look how they press them. Look, and then hit them and then pick the right pass.
Bournemouth do look good.
Look, diving in there. I don't know who that is. Centre half diving in, poor defending, and Spence at the back does well. But you know they're all out. They're just causing them all sorts of problems. And do you know what, Laurie? I love it.
And that is a nice way in which to end the show. Listen, thanks guys for coming on, to Jack, to Dan, to Lee. Thanks to you guys for watching. Don't forget, we've got our watch-along show coming up. 20 minutes before the game we go live on air. All these guys will be there. I'll be on the information station. We'll be hoping and praying and wishing for Arsenal to get the result that we all think that they should do, which is an Arsenal win against Man United. We are out. Thank you very much. See you soon.